Walter Murch is one of the most respected Hollywood film editors of our time. With 50 years of experience, he has won 3 Academy Awards out of 6 nominations for his work in the films Apocalypse Now and The English Patient. He has the know-how of film editing in his pocket, which he shares in his book In the Blink of an Eye, A Perspective on Film Editing. There he distills the art of cutting in film down to 6 rules, a set of guidelines on what should motivate a cut and what makes a good one. Next to each rule, he sets a percentage of importance that allows experimentation on how the recipe is followed. 1. Emotion. How do you want the audience to feel? Emotion is an invaluable resource, and preserving it is more important than cutting to keep continuity. Even before the rules were written down, great film workers were using these concepts. In Birds, Hitchcock located the camera in different angles and made quick cuts to share the confusion, stress, and anxiousness the protagonist was feeling. Contemporary filmmaker Lars von Trier, in Breaking the Waves, stops caring about visual continuity in order to favor emotion. 2. Story. Does the edit move the story forward in a meaningful way? This decision should be interesting and unique. If the scene isn't moving forward the story, it's confusing or worse, boring, just cut it. The best example that ignores this rule is the scene in Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, where nothing really happens. Three. Rhythm. Is the cut at a point that makes rhythmic sense? Like music, editing must keep a beat. Timing is everything. If the rhythm is there, the audience will become unaware of lapses in continuity or the 180-degree rule. In His Girl Friday, the director, Howard Hawks, employs analytical pacing to give a signature rhythmic logic to the scene that, even though it lacks soundtrack, has a certain musicality to it, linking each shot together. 4. Eye trace. How does the cut affect the location and movement of the audience's focus in the frame? The editor should be aware of where in the frame it wants the audience to look, and cut accordingly. The action could disorient the viewer, so the cut should be made in such a way that allows the viewer a guide to keep up with the story. A great example is the center framing that Margaret Sixel kept in Mad Max Fury Road during the action sequences. So, regardless of the change of speed in the shots, the crazy camera angles, or the explosions, the viewer knows exactly what to pay attention to. 5. Two-dimensional plane of screen. Is the axis followed properly? This rule follows the principle of planarity, the grammar of 3 dimensions transposed by photography to 2. Keeping the action along the 180-degree path of motion will ensure continuity, allowing the audience to keep track of the spatial place of characters and objects in the film. Yasuhiro Osu's Tokyo Monogatari breaks this rule beautifully. Going behind the axis was part of Osu's characteristic visual style. 6. Three-dimensional space. Is the cut true to establish physical and spatial relationships? Also follows the 180-degree rule, where the characters should maintain a relationship with their spatial location, unless, of course, you purposely break it to disorient your audience. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining plays great with messing up with the audience, giving us an architecture that makes little sense and reverse angle wide shots between characters, all in all, to place the hotel as a location that does not exist in our coherent reality. To wrap up, an ideal cut will be the one that satisfies all 6 criteria at once. But if you have to give something up, don't ever give up emotion before story. Don't give up story before rhythm, and so on. Stressed? Don't be. As Murch reassures, it's only a movie.